PLD Projects presents Holy Snokes, a Star Wars podcast featuring PLD and Matty Gunner. May the Force be with you, always. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Holy Snokes, a Star Wars podcast, for another episode of us rewatching Andor Season 1. My name is PLD here from the PLD Projects Network. I am the titular PLD, as it were. And with me, as always, my good friend, Matty Gunner. How are you, my friend?
The titular PLD.
That's my new title. I am the titular PLD.
Does that make me the what was the word that Mark Ellis liked to use for the not the last question, but
Penultimate?
I am the penultimate Matty Gunner.
I love it. There we go. That is our new title. The titular and the penultimate. Oh, we're starting off silly today. I love it. I love it. Yep. Better than I was a couple minutes ago. I told you. I just told Matty this off air. So JP, our wonderful JP, does our thumbnails for Holy Snokes and a couple other shows, just Class Action Live, and he does two middle-aged geeks on film. And I tell him every week, oh, this is what we're doing this week. We're doing this week, and last week, Holy Snokes, they're doing Andor watch through or rewatch 1.01 to 1.04, and then the Kathleen Kennedy thing came up, so I added that too. And this week I just threw it in there. I was doing it really quickly. I was distracted. I think I was at work. I was multitasking. I was like, all right, this week it's the next three in my head. I'm like, next 3 episodes of Andor. So I'm like, what's the next 3 episodes of Andor? Oh, 7 minus 4 is 3. It's 4. Yeah, it must be 4 through 7. And it went through it and just threw it out there. And I got the thumbnail back, and I was in a more normal state of mind. I think about it, I'm like, wait, we're not doing 7. That's 4 episodes. That's 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't. So I had to really quickly write JP and go, my bad, dude, my bad. And luckily, he's really good dude, really good. I was like, oh shit, and he went and just did it right away, and we got it back, and we're good to go. We have the proper thumbnail. I was actually thinking, am I gonna have to take this thumbnail and rejigger it, cross out, really bad?
That'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty funny.
It would be on.
You don't have to count. Do you have to count much for your day job?
No, not a whole lot.
Okay.
It was just like I said, it was the multitasking. I was kind of I didn't go 4, 5, 6. I just went, what's 4 plus 3? 7. 4 plus 3 is 7. So I was like, my head, I do, for whatever reason, struggle. I've always struggled with that my whole life. It's the dumbest thing. I am a nearly 50-year-old man. I fail in kindergarten math.
Do you remember when we were in school, and this applies to me because I'm of the same era, when the teachers would say, you're not going to have a calculator in your pocket forever?
Right. BS. That's right.
What is that?
We do.
What is that?
I was
we were lied to.
We were lied to. We definitely lied to. Oh, the vim and vigor of how youth gets lied to straight to their face all the time. I don't use math. Of course, then again, now that I say that, I'd be hypocritical considering what I just did. But it is what it is. It is what it is. We are headlong into our Andor rewatch, and that's good news. I am really, really loving this. Getting a chance.
Even though we are currently right now being Force-centered as we speak.
Yes, I know. I almost paused. We are recording right now. We always record, generally speaking, Holy Snokes, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern. And we got the news that there's a Tony Gilroy Q&A going on right now. I almost messaged you up, should we push back an hour or something?
I almost messaged you saying, should we go live and do a watch along?
But yeah. I don't know if the watch along would work. I don't want to be copyright struck and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so at the end of the day, I kind of was like, I also have a lot of other work I have to do today. So I was like, I don't know if I can push it back that hour. That might not be good for me to do. So, because I don't even know how long it is. I mean, if it's an hour long thing, it's a 2-hour-long thing. I don't even know. I mean, I'm betting it's not 2. I'm betting 20.
And I mean, let's be fair of what it really is. It's not going to be like the kind of shows, the Q&A shows that we watch, where people donate super chats and then the question will get answered. It's probably going to be a bunch of pre-written questions from Disney,
right,
and Lucasfilm that they'll attach an anonymous not anonymous, but like some kind of erroneous social media handle to. They'd be like, "Oh, blah 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 69 says this."
I mean, we can
When
find out if
really,
it started 15 minutes ago. I don't know, but that's a good question. Because I actually looked when I saw the announcement. I was like, is there a place you can submit questions? How are they doing this? But there was no
there
place that
wasn't
I saw.
when I saw. No,
So unless it is a chat thing, I mean, I just turned it on in the background really quickly. It is look like it is kind of a StreamYard-y kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't have the audio playing, so I can't tell you for sure. But
imagine if Tony Gilroy did like a sit down, like started his own YouTube channel and was like doing like a Q&A, like accepting super chats.
It is Tony Gilroy sitting with the wonderful Ash Crossan.
And, the goat.
And Bix is on screen as well. Adriana
Roja.
Yeah, I am awful with names. I am so bad with names. Even when you find out in the Andor, the character names, I'm not good at. I'm like, oh, that character, the one that, I know Musk because I love Musk so much. But everybody else, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, that it's Brasso, and it's like the kid is Willman, I think, and all this stuff. But either way, so yeah,
I never forget a woman that's name.
That's true. That's a good point.
But I'm glad that Ash is doing the Q&A.
It does say submit your questions in the live chat. Interesting. Well, we'll watch it afterwards. That'll be part of our report next week. If there's anything juicy that comes out next week, we'll let you know for sure. Otherwise, you're probably watching it already. But either way, hey, what can we do? We can only do what we can do. We can only schedule so much. We can't schedule our lives around everything that happens. We are going to be Force-centered. It is what it is. So we're probably actually pushing people away from our video. People are watching us. You go, oh, I forgot about that. Get these guys off. I want to see Tony Gilroy on my screen, which I would absolutely totally get. I totally understand. But it is what it is.
He's a silver fox. I get it.
He is absolutely a silver fox. So yeah, regardless, I'm hoping that StarWars.com or Star Wars YouTube, whatever, is smart enough and that they will keep the live chat. Because sometimes after a live stream, like the live chat isn't available anymore sometimes, depending on the settings you do. So I'm hoping that they keep the live chat, because that would be really sad if I don't see the live chat. But
imagine Kathleen Kennedy doing one of those chats.
Wow, that would be. I think it'd have to be heavily moderated. Let's put it that way, for sure.
The chat would be turned off.
Yeah, that's true. That could be true. They'd have those people who would just crash that. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about some Revolution. We have a great set of episodes we watched this week for Andor. This was the I just call it the Aldani arc. I think you said it was your favorite arc potentially of the first season, which is cool. I will say I don't know if I can say it's my favorite arc, but I will give you a minor spoiler. I do think that the 6th episode, the final episode of this arc, might be my favorite episode, though, potentially. I'll have to tell you after I watch the rest. Okay, that's fair.
I mean, it probably is, but it shouldn't be.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll definitely get there for sure. Before we get into that, like we always do, we have news to talk about. Not a whole lot of real big scoop news came up. We had a couple of fun tidbits. None of the ones you hate. None of the people talking about what's going on with Star Wars or what they want to do with Star Wars. Just fun little things. And then we did have Tony Gilroy did like 1,000 interviews, and
he really has been hitting the interview scene.
I don't know if it's on him or if it's on Disney saying, hey, go take care of this for us potentially. But I will say one of the quotes from Tony basically said that this is the most proud. He's more proud of Andor than he's of anything he's done in his career. So that does say something. And I don't think Tony Gilroy is one to bullshit. He's like, we talk about people bullshitting and you want to sell the current product. No, Tony Gilroy is pretty bluntly honest about everything that comes out. And as you can tell from some of his interview quotes, but he came out and said that. I was like, oh, wow. He said, we'll get into that in a little bit, but that's our last news bit to talk about. Let's go into our first couple of more, shall we say, fun news bits, as it were. First off, we found after so long, there is a new Phantom Menace Easter egg that was discovered. I did not know this, so I didn't
know this till the other day.
1 hour, 58 minutes, and 17 seconds into the film's runtime, there is a shot of Padme, Captain Panaka, and the Royal Guards running down a hallway in Theed's royal palace. And at the top of the archway behind them, there is a bust of a certain man's face. And let us see
You put it up?
I am going to, yes, I'm going to try to put this up on the screen. Let me share the screen. I wish I had so much work to do today that I did not get a chance to prepare like I like to normally prepare. So I'm just going to put up for my news bit here. I'll have to resize it because it's not the proper size right now. There we go. There it is. There it is. I'm going to make that full screen for you. I'll just be that. I'll take us off.
Okay.
And there it is. Right there. That little hallway where Padme is running up and down. Who is that?
The maker himself.
It is the maker himself. It is Mr. George Lucas. How fun is that? I don't know if I like that more. I don't know why I like it as much, but I like the fact that there's even more than just the specific Easter egg. I like the fact that there's stuff we can learn about that movie. Almost, what is it now? What is it? Already 30 years in the future? 25 years? 25 years?
Well, it's 20 years since Revenge of the Sith, so it's got to be close to 25.
Yeah. 24, whatever it is, either way.
I'm pretty sure it's Phantom. I'm pretty sure last year was 25 of Phantom.
Yeah, because it was on anniversary, right? So yeah. 20, yeah, that's right. That's what it was. Wow. Holy shit.
I like it.
But
I wonder if that was shot on like a soundstage, or if I actually go to where they shot it in that palace in, I think, Rome. I think it was.
I don't think they have George Lucas up there. I think that was probably computer graphic. I'm gonna guess it was inserted.
Or did they put it up there as like a prop?
Okay.
And then the Italians that owned the palace were like, "Hey, leave it up, but we like it in Star Wars.
We like it, George Lucas. We like it a lot." I could do that as an Italian, so I can do that without being too whatever the word would be. Yeah, that's kind of fun. It's just kind of a fun thing. So next up, something we don't talk about very much on this show, collectors, items and things like that. I know you have a friend you wanted to invite on the podcast at one point to talk about collectors items. That's cool.
Yes.
It's not that
Tony, he'll be on at some point. Yeah, we'll get that conversation going.
I'm actually, the funny thing is I'm interested in, I don't collect myself because I just don't have the room, the money, all that kind of stuff. But I do love hearing about these things and seeing these things. And we have coming to us soon enough, the latest lightsaber hilt replica from Disney has been revealed to be Mara Jade's lightsaber from the expanded universe and the Legends continuity. It's just a few of them are being made. Only about 3,500 of these hilts are going to be produced. And I am more interested in the fact that they're doing a Mara Jade one because,
why?
Again, well, I'm interested in that we don't get a lot of old expanded universe stuff in Disney. We have had the Legends books kind of have been pretty populated and everything else. But I think it's kind of cool that they're doing that because I know that's a hot bucket, still a hot button topic for some people that Disney whatever don't use the EU, whatever. I don't get that. I love the EU. I'm still reading the old EU. I didn't have a conniption fit when they moved on from out it. But I didn't want it erased. So I kind of like the idea that they're still kind of harkening back. We're still getting stuff from it. Unless that's where of course the conspiracy theory people come in and go, well, maybe they're going to bring Mara Jade into the universe.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
I mean, I think it's more likely now than it was when George was there, because George did not like the character.
George is still there. That's not.
He has no say. If he was there, they would have. You have this argument with me all the time. George is not there. He has no say, or else they would have done his sequel.
He's not there, but he's there.
Right, but he's not there in terms of he will not prevent Mara Jade from becoming into canon. First of all, I don't think he cares anymore. He's out he's out going to movies and going to the diner.
He's old man. He's an old man now. Old men carry grudges to the death.
Yeah, you know what? He's gonna go like George's like, don't use them. They're gonna be like, what, George? Say what? Oh, okay, sure, old man. Have a good night. Click, and they'll use it.
Wait till he, and I hope this is a long time before this happens, but wait till he, becomes one with the Force.
Hates his maker.
Yeah, mate. When he becomes one with the Force,
look,
then use Mara Jade all you want.
I get it. I just don't think George is going to have any say in it. So I don't think that's going to be the thing that's going to stop it from happening.
But whether he stops it or not, it's not going to happen.
Why do you say that?
There's no place for her.
There's always a place for her. If you can find a place for anybody, you can find a badass female Jedi. You can find a place for her anywhere.
Okay, the character of Mara Jade.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
But her and having the relationship with Luke,
no. I don't think you necessarily have that. No. That's a different story. That's a different story. I'm not saying that they're going to bring her in and make her Luke's wife or anything. I don't think that's not necessarily going to happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get like a Mara Jade was the hand of the Emperor kind of thing, and like
that would be cool.
Yeah, I think that could absolutely happen at this point. I don't think we're going to I don't think we're not going to be. It's not going to be like the Mara Jade is the gravestone on Octu, like we had that theory for a long. Like that theory was out there for a long. Remember that Last Jedi theory? They had that. They had the picture of Luke on top of the hill, and there's like a gravesite there, and goes, "That's Mara Jade's grave, isn't it?" Yeah.
But also, there is a Revan one of those hills, so and they haven't used Revan, so it's probably just a. Here's the thing for all you people that love the EU. Take the. I mean, they've got a bunch of High Republic ones. They've got Stellan Gios's lightsaber.
High Republic makes sense. That's theirs. Disney. That's Disney's technically.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like they're not like doing anything massive with it, other than the reading initiative. Unless Stellan Gios shows up in a live action show, which hell yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. I mean, I would still like a High Republic show at one point. That'd be great. Even animated, I'd like a High Republic animated show. That'd be really cool, especially where I am now.
How much is this Mara Jade?
Just about to hit the phase 3. I'm just about to hit phase 3. I just finished up phase 1. So I'm finally getting into phase 3 very shortly. No, you know what? I get what you're saying. But I also will, to go back conspiracy theory era, Disney likes to kind of like tie in their merchandise with what they're producing. Like they do the tie in with the Disney parks, they tie in with their product and stuff. Usually they like to tie in things together. So I think that the chance of Mara Jade showing up somewhere is more possible now than it was before this. That's basically what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's definitively going to happen.
I can almost certainly guarantee it's not going to happen because what comes with this lightsaber is issue 1 of Star Wars Mara Jade by the Emperor's Hand.
Oh, okay.
A comic book. So they're doing a comic book of a.
Well, that's the old Legends comic book, correct? I think it's an old Legends comic book.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I would be surprised if this is the introduction to Mara Jade.
Maybe it's like a reprint. I don't. Maybe it could be, but it's also $325, so they could fuck right off.
That's one. Like I said, I'm not a collector. For that reason.
No. I've got the Darksaber. I'm good with everything else.
That's fair. But yeah. So yeah, do I believe this is going to happen? No, but I think it's fun to speculate about. It's fun to be like, maybe. So. I know you don't. I can tell. You look on your face. It's so fun. I love.
You love to stir the pot. I love to stir the pot.
I love winding you up. Speaking of sharing merchandise and comparing and like merchandise and parks and stuff, there's another little bit of news. Mandalorian and Grogu are introducing BDX droids, and they had a presentation at where was it? I didn't write it down. There's a presentation where Jon Favreau showed up.
Who name is keep going.
And they revealed that they had a showcase where they showed these droids off. And I'm actually going to share my screen again. Hold on. I share this again. Oh, that's not right. I'm checking my cameras now. Present. Share screen. Right there in the middle. Those are the BDX droids. That are going to be in the Mandalorian and Grogu film. As part of the announcement. And secondly, they are also going to have a quote from Johnny Favreau. One of the cool things about Disney is how we can tell our stories in so many different formats. We've already taken Mando and Grogu from the TV screen to the movie screen. At the same time, Dave and I are working with Asa from the SXSW to bring this story to the Disney parks too. So they're introducing something in the movie that's going to be in the Disney parks too.
So we've already seen those droids already, like the prototypes of them were walking around Galaxy's Edge a few months ago.
Right.
I'm trying to find who the fuck came up with it in the Thank the Maker Discord, but I can't find it. So if you're watching, I'm sorry if I'm not quoting you. Pull up the image of the droids again.
Okay. Hold on.
Notice how one's red, one's green, one's blue?
Yep.
That's Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
I love it. I absolutely love that idea.
That's the ducks.
Oh boy.
You don't think you could have like HU3?
I totally can see it. Absolutely.
HU3,
So is like the other
LU3?
one Scrooge McDuck, or is it like DuckTales or whatever? I don't know. Anyway, they're also doing a new mission for Smuggler's Run that's part of it as well, including these droids, and that's going to debut the same day that Mandalorian and Grogu debuts in the theater. So,
okay,
interesting and nice. And also that they're going to be tuned up by an Anzellan named Otto.
Yes, more Anzellans. Yes,
exactly. I love that. So.
Perfect. And what's his name?
Otto.
So wait, so they're Autobots.
Autobots.
Yes.
That's a play of words we like.
Yes. I like it.
Okay, we're gonna finish with the Tony Gilroy stuff. The last one, I usually get all my news from Star Wars News Net. This one I did not get from Star Wars News Net. This was on Variety. Just an interesting conversation. Rick McCallum was on a young Indiana Jones
in a while.
Right. He was on a young Indiana Jones podcast, and they talked about Star Wars Underworld. The proposed George Lucas Star Wars TV before he sold Disney. He had this whole thing. It's kind of a mythical thing at this point. Cause we know that George produced a lot of actual scripts for it. And he has this idea of where he's going. There's like 60 to 100 scripts or something like that, supposedly. And so it's definitely become kind of a mythical thing because it never happened. He did get the Clone Wars.
There lost footage of
there might have been
footage of, I
think there was footage of 1313, the game, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think. There might have been production design stuff that floated around potentially. I would be surprised. They definitely would have done that at this point. Obviously, he went away when Disney bought Star Wars and they did their own TV thing, but it was axed generally because of the budget at the time. But it's just kind of interesting to hear. We haven't heard much about it from official sources, really.
No.
And Rick McCallum stated, I think we had over 60 scripts, like third draft scripts. McCallum said, noting, quote, the most wonderful writers in the world. So Lucas's Skywalker Ranch to map out and pen the series. These were dark, they were sexy, they were violent, they were absolutely wonderful, complicated, challenging scripts. McCallum stopped short of providing plot details for Star Wars Underworld, but said the series would have blown up the whole Star Wars universe, and Disney would have definitely never offered George to buy the franchise. Okay. The producer said, not making Underworld remains one of the greatest disappointments of our lives. The problem was that each episode was bigger than the films, so the lowest I could get it down to with the tech that existed then was $40 million an episode. The series effectively died when Disney purchased Lucasfilm and Lucas exited his post at the company. So $40 million episode.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. We get that when we hear about the budget nowadays. And that's quite a bit.
That's like one scene in Mickey 17.
Pretty much at this point.
Which is a great movie, by the way. Everyone should go watch that movie.
It is. It is a good. I like that movie quite a bit. Some people.
I loved it. I
thought it was messy, but overall, Robert Pattinson really delivered, and that's what really carried the movie for me. His performance was stellar, as well as Naomi Ackie of Star Wars fame, of Rise of Skywalker fame.
Ruffalo was the one.
Ruffalo's good as well. Yes, Ruffalo's always good. He's always good, especially in that kind of role, that definite not hiding who you are role. It is interesting to think about, though. I think Andor cost $290 million for this season, so that's about $20 million an episode. So not that far off, but I guess $20 million is a big chunk of change. But
how much of that budget do you think goes to Tony Gilroy's salary?
That's a good question. But either way, what are your thoughts about the Underworld series? Are you disappointed we never got it? What do you think?
Nah, not really. I've watched 3000 AD enough. Probably would have been the same.
That's a bold statement. You're liking it.
Oh, from how McCallum's describing it, that's how it sounds, right? Sexy, violent, dark, dystopian. It's essentially Judge Dredd in 3000 AD.
That's not too far off, I guess. I would say I was interested because having George Lucas, there's always the argument that Star Wars is for kids and that it's always they're not going to do a horror movie. You're not going to do dark, too sexy. Hell, Andor was the closest thing we've ever had to a Star Wars sex scene, and it was a really big, basically cutaway between Bix and Tim Carlo. So like hearing McCallum say dark, violent, sexy, and that George is behind it all does interest me a little bit, because what does that mean to George Lucas if he wants to do a darker, violent show? Does he commit full on to being darker and violent at that point? It interests me. It's one of those kind of things. Like it's not like I need it to happen. I'm happy with what Disney's doing. Honestly, I'm mostly happy with it. But I can't help but wonder, like, go to that alternate universe that exists where this does exist to see how that would have been, for sure. I mean, we could have had a live action Hondo way back then, potentially.
Oh my god!
I mean, come on. He would have put it in
there. Around that time would have been Antonio Banderas in his prime too.
Absolutely, 100% Antonio Banderas in his prime.
That would have been like Spy Kids era. No, like even Desperado era.
Right. Yeah.
Antonio Banderas.
Absolutely. So, all right. That was that. Finally, of course, Tony Gilroy did the rounds. We could have done a whole episode just.
He's still doing them right now as we speak.
Right now as we speak. That's right. We're going to talk about more of those next week on the show. He did a lot of interviews, and we could have done a whole episode just on the interviews he did. So I'm going to try to touch base on the most interesting things that I thought he said and go from there. I got a lot of these for Star Wars.
Why didn't we interview him?
I don't have contacts like that. Come on now.
You got a little wiggle room in. Get Tony on the show.
Yeah, good job. Good thoughts. Thinking good thoughts there. All right. So Gilroy said, this is actually the quote I was talking about at the top of the show. Gilroy said, I have friends of mine who love my work, or people I would meet who go on about Michael Clayton or go on about something else. And then, well, have you seen my show? They say, well, no, it's Star Wars, so I don't really, whatever. So I'm trying to win that audience over. So let people know that this is the most important thing I'll ever work on, and I'm more proud of it than anything I've ever worked on. So I'm trying to pick up a few of those people.
I have never related to Tony Gilroy before until this moment.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
Do you know how many friends that I've been like, hey, listen to my band? And they're like, yeah, we support you, but it's not, we're not going to listen because it's not our thing.
Right.
I feel I am the Tony Gilroy of hardcore.
Awesome. Okay. Gilroy also explained to Collider that the decision to release the new season in blocks of 3 episodes each week was made by Disney and was driven by internal logic following the release of Skeleton Crew, but it still respected the way they thought about the show. We made 8 Star Wars movies in 5.5 years, and that's how we shoot them. The directors come in and do blocks of 3, so it's baked into our whole psyche from the moment we started. 3-3, 3-3-3. I will miss. I mean, it was super groovy to like roll out season 1 for like 3 months. It was like Christmas every Wednesday, but I'm into this. I like this idea. One part of the quote I did not get later is not in this thing, but I did mention too. He actually specifically said it's going to be tough on podcasters. I'm like, yes, it is. Absolutely going to be tough on podcasters.
I don't think it will for us because I think we've cracked the code. I think we're the way we're going to do it. I think it's going to be good.
I think it's going to be good too. It's just that we definitely have to like get 3 episodes. I think it's more about the time because a lot of times podcasters, unlike us, like reactors, even or worse, they have to get them up as soon as they're up. So it's like doing 3 a night. It's out.
They chose that for themselves. That's like, don't cry for me, Argentina. Like,
it's fair.
You put that on yourselves. Like,
yeah, it is tough. You got to make sure you get 3 episodes. That's like 3 hours, the middle of the night almost at this point. But it's okay.
Oh no, you have to stay up and watch a Star Wars movie every week. Woe is me. You see what this is? This is the world's tiniest violin.
That's fair.
And it's not even airing at midnight for you guys. It's airing at prime time.
9 o'clock for me. Yeah, it's 9 p.m. for me. So I'm good with it. I'm okay with it. I just don't. I already argued before. The only reason I don't care about the podcasting aspect of it as much as other people do. I'm care more about like just wanting to last a little longer. That's all. I don't want to see it go.
And also, you're going to get a call at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning saying, "Hey, PLD, video's here. We need you to have it up by 6 a.m. tomorrow."
Yeah, exactly. That's part of it. I do work with those as well. Luckily for me, the ones I do more of like the Real Rejects, at least they since you don't know, I work for the Real Rejects and produce for them. I know they get screeners, so they usually have it up. Like so the worst part about it is they'll probably have their watch alongs ready to go, or the reactions ready to go, like before it even airs here. Like I'll look at their clips thing. I'll be like, oh, it's right there. No, I can't watch that this way. I can't make that be the way I watch it. So just trying to work around that sometimes. That's tough. It is good. It is good overall. Okay, next up, he said he's also said that run times will be about the same length as they were in season 1, between 39 and 55 minutes. Good enough for me. Yeah. He also
it's like Daredevil. I've been waiting for a moment to bring Daredevil into this. Daredevil's been like 43 to 50 minutes without credits.
Right.
This is a good shit. This is what we want.
Yeah, I agree. I'm happy with that. I don't like the 20 some odd minute shows we've gotten sometimes, which is part of the problem. Guys, when it gets lower and lower, I remember one of the shows were like 27 minutes. I was like, that's a little short. That's a little short. I mean,
wasn't one episode of Mandalorian season 3? It was like 35 minutes or something like 30,
that. Yeah, less, maybe even less.
Like 32.
The difference is that Joseph Scrimshaw said this best on the Force Center, and I wholeheartedly agree with him, is that the problem they've had with Disney Plus streaming shows is they're not treating them like TV shows. They're just making these 8-hour movies and then cutting them up. Instead of having the rhythm and the actual flow of an actual TV show, which is 45-minute show, 45-minute show, 45-minute show. I mean, Tony just said it himself. He said it the same way. He said, we're making 8 movies and we're just cutting them up. I don't love that aspect of it. I got to be honest with you. I don't love that idea. I just would rather see like the shows instead of just kind of like cutting it off and moving on. It's like, I'd rather.
And I'm not defending a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Disney have never outright said these are TV shows. They've said that they are limited series.
Right. Well, series.
The fact that we grew up with a certain format of TV, I think there's a lot of like, we have that expectation for it to be a certain runtime, a certain way, cut off at certain points. But Disney have never like come out and said, yeah, we're going to do it that way. We're going to do it like a TV show. They've never like specifically come out and said that that's the way these things are going to run.
No, they didn't. But at the same time, when you say series, that implicates like a TV series. That implies that.
Maybe if it was on TV, it would be different.
It is on TV now. Well, no, it was on ABC a couple of times. They actually threw that in there. But actually, specifically speaking, the fun thing is the marketing. I don't know if you read that marketing news that they did. They actually put Andor season 1
episodes on YouTube. Yeah,
they put the whole season on Hulu, which wasn't there before, and they put the first 3 episodes on YouTube for free.
Put the whole season on YouTube. All of it. It's been on Disney Plus for how long now? Put the whole thing on YouTube.
I don't know if I go that far. I mean, the idea is you want to bring people in because you want to get people in before Andor season 2 drops. That's another month of revenue for you.
Okay, but watch that first 3 episodes. Do you think that's enough for let's say a younger person, right? Someone who is used to the binge model. Do we think that a person like that is just going to watch 3 episodes and be like, oh, I'm all in, I'm going to go? No, they'll probably be like, well, where's the rest? Cool, I just watched 3 episodes of it on YouTube for free. And you want me to pay for the rest? Fuck you, no way.
Well, but it's better than putting all 8 of it for free. And then what happens? Those same people, if they're not going to do it for that, they're not going to come for season 2 either. So then what's the point of that? You just said it, your heart. They're on for YouTube for free, and now I'm going to maybe pay for that? Fuck you. Oh, season 2's coming up. Oh, now I'll come.
I mean,
no.
Anyway, sorry.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're there, but that's what I'm saying as far as that goes. I'm just using your argument against you in a way that I just said. Basically, you said they're watching 3 for free, and they're going to say, F off, I'm joining. Well, they're not going to join for season 2 either, and that's the point.
That's the thing, like, make me want to pay for it, and I don't think 3 episodes is enough to, like, make
dropping the entire season isn't going to make you want to pay for it either, though. I think you get it for free. That way, like, why would you pay for it?
Pay to watch season 2. If I watch season 1 for free and I love season 1, like
maybe
Tokyo Vice. Okay, this is the exact same. This is the exact thing. Tokyo Vice, I watched on BBC iPlayer, which is a free service. You don't have to pay for BBC iPlayer. Right. Season 1 was on BBC iPlayer. Right. I loved it so much. I went and I didn't use a subscription service, but I would have done. I would have paid to watch season 2 if I wasn't sailing the 7 seas.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to the next bit here. Going into, let's see. Oh, so he also confirmed once again they didn't use the volume this season. Interesting. Gilroy did tease they did some de-aging on Diego Luna towards the end of the season. So the Cassian's face could look as close as possible to the beginning of Rogue One.
Need it.
He quote from Gilroy, I mean, that's our plan. We work for that. Technology exists. So yeah. Depends on how it is.
If there is a man that does not need de-aging,
it's Diego Luna.
It's Diego Luna.
Fair enough. Getting into story specifics with Collider, Gilroy did mention how, despite some historical parallels that may be drawn in between events into the show and some depicted in the history books, he doesn't think of Andor that way because history just repeats itself. We are just talking with someone about how Mon Mothma and Vale come out of Chandrila, and you're thinking about, oh my God, all the early Christians and the Roman empires of the elite. What was that like? People breaking away. The sorry truth is, here's a cliche: history repeats itself. So I want to make this show timeless, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Furthermore, this is the more interesting part for me. Gilroy has been accused of not caring as much for the larger Star Wars canon and is minding his own sandbox in it. But in talking to Collider, he went into the Gorn massacre, which will be depicted in the new season and how it will fit into the larger story. Quote, there is also a bit of confusion about the Gorn massacre and what is the Gorn massacre. A lot of confusion within canon. So it was an opportunity to rebuild in a really significant way. It's a very significant part of our show that can do a lot of different things for us. Quite honestly, it's very expensive to build, so we really want to use it as much as possible. So it carries over 5 different episodes. I'm really confident that the really deep, passionate Star Wars community will appreciate how we've straightened out that story. So we've gone from, oh, it's cool, mentioned in season 1. Oh, it's going to be in season 2. Now it's 5 episodes. So yeah,
5 out of 12 episodes.
Right? Yeah. Now I don't know. I gotta think, like, just me trying to be gutsy about it. I gotta think that it's got to be like they're showing bits of it over time and flashbacks, and you learn more about it. Because like, the massacre itself can't like take place over 5 episodes, right? I mean, right?
I mean, it could.
I guess.
It would probably be real uncomfortable to watch, but he has also said he wants to make us cry.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I thought
I'll tell you, bro. It's gonna. I have a really strong gut feeling that it's going to start as Mon Mothma's daughter's wedding, and then shit is gonna hit the fan.
Yeah. Okay.
And that will be the catalyst for everything kicking off. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, do I want 5 episodes of depression? No. If I wanted that, I would just go watch Succession again.
Fair. I do think it's going to be one of those things where like there'll be one episode which is definitively the Gorman massacre, and that there'll be like a build up to it. Like there'll be an episode where there's a build up to it, but it doesn't actually happen. There's going to be an aftermath to it with them getting away, that kind of thing. I think it's going to tie in different places. But I'm very interested.
Maybe we see like little bits of it in the build up. Right. And then once Cassian actually gets there.
Right. That's when it'll have the big incident itself will be one episode. It'll be the end of one episode. Because here's the funny thing too, and this is the weird part about it. And this is where my theory comes more into play. We got to remember these are 3 episodes equals 1 year, and they jump forward a year. So if there's 5 episodes, that the whole Gorman massacre didn't take place over the course of a year. No. Not a continuous massacre for a year. It's an incident. You know what I mean? It's like not like a. It's not like a.
Or is it like an event within that year, and then maybe it's not like a year-long arc, but it's an event that happens within that year, and then we move on to the next year.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. Like the aftermath will be there. It'll still be part of it. They'll probably show flashbacks, or we learn new things about it during the next year or something like that. We see what happened, and then we get to see later on from a different perspective, that kind of thing. And so
here's my question to you.
Yeah.
There is a scene in that trailer where Cassian is holding a sniper rifle out of a hotel window. And I've been thinking about this.
Okay.
He says he has done awful things in the name of the rebellion.
Right.
Is Cassian the one that starts the Gorman massacre?
Ooh.
Does he fire the first shot?
Oh wow!
And like a stormtrooper because there's also a shot of a stormtrooper shooting someone that's up on like a high like tower, but it's just like someone wrapped around a tower. It's not someone with like a gun in their hand. I'm wondering if he takes the shot, they look up, see someone on a tower, and the stormtroopers fly back, and then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, that could be, and that's why Bix is very angry at him. Yeah, that does kind of make sense potentially. Maybe something happened. That's a good question.
And it also play into that shot in Rogue One where he's on the cliff with the sniper rifle aiming at Galen and he can't pull the trigger.
That would be that's a fantastic thought. I didn't even think about that, and that's it'd be interesting to see because a lot of the show is about. I mean, this whole show is about Andor. It's about how he gets to where he was and where he is and everything else. So that would actually be very interesting to me. I really like what you're saying there. So,
he starts the massacre and then he has to get Mon Mothma out.
Maybe maybe what it is he starts the massacre. Maybe like not meaning to, but what happens? Whatever he's doing, he like does something. He goes like a little bit of a Saw route, partisan type route, and then whatever he does that Saw does really pisses off the Empire, and that's what caused the Empire to kind of come down on him. Which is why he never goes that route again. He decides to go back and with the Mothma side of things potentially. That's a possibility. I like that.
And also thinking like a soldier.
Yeah, it's all. I think the leader has Luthen being pissed at him a little bit for doing it. Maybe I don't know. That's a lot potential there. I kind of like where your head's at that. By the way, just to interrupt a little bit, I just saw this. I have this on the background. I do have it on the background, but look at that. Look at who's at the Tony Gilroy. Like,
oh my god! Look at these two.
Those two. I paused it, so I don't know. I guess maybe they submitted a video question. Maybe they're lucky enough to have done that. I don't know what, but they would deserve it. But friends of the show,
hell yeah,
awesome, Molly. So I'm definitely going to go watch this as I'm doing my work afterwards. Here, actually, picture this thing. Like we really should have covered it, but it is what it is. What you end up. So we'll go back to that at some point for sure. Next week we'll have a big coverage of that. But congratulations to them as well. Always a good, hard-working crew that have deserved everything that they.
Keep an eye on it. I wonder if Jen, Joseph, and Ken show up on it.
Yeah, potentially. I'm kind of keeping in the background. That was the first time I saw somebody else that I didn't recognize. I was like, oh, it's their video question. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Another thing, let's see what he has about a couple more things from Tony, and then we'll get on to the actual Andor show. Season 1, rather. Though Rogue One was a suicide mission, we don't know for sure how many of the characters Andor will make it out of the show alive. As Gilroy explained, though, it's all about what you put on the line emotionally rather than whether you live or die.
Everything.
Everything. I will say that as we finish the show, we're mixing and doing color. When you're mixing and you're really in there, and now you're at the end, all the people who worked on the show, the effective time over 24 episodes, over 5 years of these intense circumstances that these characters go through with these amazing actors, and all the material that we've had to deal with is not just whether you live or die, it's the damage, the sacrifice you've made, or the sacrifice you haven't made. The 5 women, what they go through, casting a sort of Star Wars Jesus running through there, this messianic character running through the middle. We know that story. It has its own complexities. But really, I think the surprising and shocking emotional punch will come from the collateral damage and triumph of the people around him.
Collateral damage.
Mick's gonna die. That's my guess.
Yeah, I mean, we don't see her in Andor, but like the collateral damage done, if he's the one that starts the massacre.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true, yeah. We're just thinking about the characters we know. Well, obviously, we know Cassian ain't dying. We know K2SO ain't dying. We know Krennic ain't dying. We know Mon Mothma ain't dying. We know Saw Gerrera ain't dying yet.
But he is dying, just not
just
yet.
Not yet. Bix Cassian is dying, but not yet. Spoiler alert for Rogue One. K2SO is dying, but not yet. Spoiler alert for Rogue One. So I think the big two would be Luthen and Bix are the ones we have to really probably worry about. And unfortunately, I hate to say it. I hope he makes it through. Brasso.
God, I hope Brasso makes it. You know who I think is going to bite the bullet?
Who?
Cyril.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Dedra might too. I think Cyril and Dedra might do it together. They might.
I don't know. She's the one that I'm curious about because I could see Cyril like sacrificing himself for her, her just not giving a shit.
Maybe, but I think that gives too much credit to Cyril. I think we're going to see a side of Cyril that's like he like has a crush on her and everything else, but he's also very selfish.
He's there on Gorman.
Oh, I know. I wouldn't be surprised if she dies and he takes a chance to go past her. Like that's the twist. Like you think he would save her, but he's not going to.
I thought if he's just like lying there dying, and his mom is just like sitting over, like standing over him, like
throwing like Fruit Loops at him.
Yeah, you should have taken the job with your uncle.
Yeah. You look at Uncle Harlow's disappointment. Disappointed. All right.
He's in it, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. Actually, that's one of the quotes in there. Yeah. He likes Edie, so he's going to be in there. Gilroy also confirmed that Saw Gerrera will have an expanded role in the second season. He also teased that there will be a payoff to the sexual tension between Cyril and Dedra. I don't want to spoil anything, but they're unresolved when we leave them in Ferris, aren't they? Is that goodbye? I doubt it. Why would I leave two fascinating characters like that behind? There's a lot of varieties in romance in the second season because it's over 5 years. People are going to do what they do. It's also just fascinating. Not just the varieties of romance, varieties of love, varieties of relationships. But then what does this incoming to tsunami of revolution and war do to people's relationships?
It's going to be like Dwight and Angela from The Office. You're almost like, oh, I'm really happy for the two of them, but
let's see. A canonical event that will be depicted in the new season is Mon Mothma leaving the Senate. Gilroy explained how this character will go through one of the most traumatic arcs this next season. Canonically, there's this moment, is the quote now, canonically, there's this moment where she leaves the Senate, and that's in our timeline. So we're definitely dealing with that. But I would say, of all the characters in the show, of all the hellacious things that people go through and all the difficulties and hardships, I don't think anybody has a harder road than she does. Because she has to do everything that everybody else does with all the tension, fear, and anxiety, and she has to do it in public. She has nowhere to hide, and this season just ramps that up to an almost unbearable point. What Genevieve is going to do in this second season, we realized in the first season what a brilliant actress she was, and that we hadn't found the limits of what she could do. We still haven't found them. But the opportunity to write for her and write her story large was very important to me in the second season. I am very happy to hear about that because I am about 50% through The Mask of Fear, and rewatching Andor, I realized just how much, honestly, I think Mon Mothma's story is my favorite of the bunch. Watching her go through, which is, and I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that we know we get her in episode 6 or not. She's like an original character or whatever. I just think her character is fascinating to me. She is like she's just like a woman who is trying her best despite not being like, she's being a very peaceful woman at heart, being a very good woman at heart, trying to navigate these waters. Like Tony Gilroy says, in public, involved with the Senate itself. You know that she becomes like the leader of the rebellion. Fascinating role for me to see on, especially with the characters she's played against. So I'm very happy to see this. And
I saw someone on Blue Sky the other day saying if you read The Mask of Fear, you'll see Perrin in a whole new light. I'm like, no, I don't. It's still fuck Perrin.
Have you finished?
It will always be fuck Perrin. Almost.
Okay. I don't know. I actually, it's not that I see Perrin in a different light, but I see who he used to be potentially.
Okay.
And where he got into. I mean, in Andor, certainly fuck him. Absolutely. In Mask of Fear, he's not that bad, not as bad, because he's not there yet. He's not as jaded and not as selfish yet. He's just kind of like, he's supportive for the most part. He's a little supportive with Mon, a little more supportive with Mon. I think he's just kind of someone that is less evil and more just kind of.
He's an opportunist.
Not even an opportunist. I think he's just kind of self-centered. I think it's a self-centered thing. It's not necessarily. It's about like he just doesn't want to. I'm not a hero. I'm gonna do what's good for my life. What's good for this? Like, what's happening in my sphere? The Gorman massacres over there. I don't even know what the Gormans are. That doesn't even cross my mind. This is my life. I got to center on what's going on in my life. I think that's what he is. I think at one point he was better than that, though. A little bit better than that, at least towards Mon. I actually like to see the transition of how it goes. I think it's kind of an interesting thing. I think he's interesting to me. So I don't know, not seeing him in a whole new light, but he is more interesting to me after seeing him Mask of Fear so far.
Makes him worse to me because it's like that's what you become.
But that's more interesting to me instead of being one note the entire time. Watching as somebody grow or not grow or de-evolve, that's why it's more of an interesting storyline to me.
I hope he's the one that Cassian shoots.
Okay, that's fair. I don't think
right
he's going
between the eyes.
That may be good. He might be. I would be surprised if Mon does it. Mon has to do it.
I would cheer from the rooftops.
She deserves it. Let's see. Also, we got his comments on Luthen. I think of Luthen as a startup CEO, some guy who built a business in his garage, For 15 years, he built the revolution in his garage, he and Clea. And then in Aldani season 1, they went public, and now they're out there. Now, for the next 4 years, how do you scale your company up? It's multinational. How do you scale your little business that was so successful in your garage and build it out? And if your business is based on secrecy and paranoia, how hard is that to do, and how well are you going to play with others? And how well?
So you're saying he's Mark Zuckerberg, basically?
Maybe that makes sense, actually. And how welcoming are you going to be to new ideas? Those are all the friction's going to be for him in the second half. He has one speed, and that is to make this all happen. He'd do anything for the revolution. Anything. So.
Jesse Eisenberg as a young Luthen Rail.
Do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see. And finally, also, last thing I'll say. Oh, two more things real quick. Vix, another teased arc. It's another huge epic journey for her huge epic journey. We talked about sacrifice. What do you sacrifice on the altar of something that's grown to be really important? What if two really important things come to you at the same time? What if love and revolution come to you at the same time and they don't play well together? What do you do? That'll be the friction for her. Okay, that makes sense. Although it makes Andor a little, if there's a love there and all of a sudden he goes off, and it depends on when she leaves, because if it's like the last arc that goes right to Rogue One and all of a sudden he's like with Jin after that a little bit, I don't know.
I think that the Jin kiss was just, it was a heat of the moment thing. It was a like, look, the world's gonna end. We may as well.
Okay. Let's see. Last bit I'll say, just for you.
Go on.
Cyril will not be back by himself in Andor season 2. His mother Edie will be back as well. Gilroy teased new shenanigans coming from this relationship. There'll be some Edie here. That's all I'm gonna say. I happen to be a big Edie fan. So.
I mean, I'm a big Edie fan, but I also hate Edie at the same time. It's not like my hatred for Perrin. It's more like my grandmother was very much the same as Edie. Right. And like nothing I did was ever good enough.
Right.
But she did it out of like what she perceived to be love.
Right.
So like Edie kind of reminds me of my nan.
She definitely loves him. Absolutely. She's just a not a great parent. She just thinks she's better than she is.
Yeah.
All right. Let's finish. Naturally, move on to. It's now over an hour, and you're still going on that page. So I'm glad we didn't push it back. We'll talk about next week. I'm going to watch it right after. But let's move on to our meat and potatoes of this show. We rewatched Andor 1.04 to 1.06, not 7, the Aldani arc. And let's talk about it. How we do this, we talk about it in chunks and categories. Then, of course, we go into anything else we need to do later on at the end. Let's get into it. Our first category we always talk about, Hondo Watch 2022, I think we said, right? Or 2023?
Yes. 2022,
whatever it is. A couple of years ago, Hondo Watch. Did Hondo Anaka make his live action debut? We wouldn't have a Hondo Watch if he still did. So no, he did not. Well, that is something we have to discuss. If we do get Hondo,
of course we will.
Does Hondo Watch?
There's always going to be a next time he shows up.
Next time he shows up, it's going to be Hondo Watch forever. Okay, just fair enough. I wasn't sure if that was going to be.
Just because he shows
retire the bit.
The watch is never over.
The watch is never over. Okay, fair.
But of all the arcs in Andor, this is the one that they could have brought him in.
Potentially, he could have been one of the
stealing a shitload of Imperial credits.
If it wasn't Cassian, Luthen was going to hire Hondo.
I like to think so.
He's there in the background. He was Cassian's backup. That's what it was.
I like to think that it was Hondo that bought Luthen the Sankara stones.
That could be it. Absolutely.
Hondo was on Earth at one point.
Either Hondo or a Fee from the Bad Batch, potentially. Either way. This is a good arc for him. Also, actually, the prison arc would have been good for him, too. You could have seen Hondo languishing in prison at one point. What are you
talking about? They would have broken out way quicker.
That's true. One way out.
One way out, my friends. This way.
This way.
And it's literally just him pointing at a door that has an exit sign on it.
The best would have been like Kino Loy gets to the end. Is like, I can't swim. And Hondo turns around and goes, well, too bad for you, my friend. Good luck.
Or he throws Kino into a box and then uses it as a flotation device.
This would be part of the new bit. We should also put where does Hondo go in the show and how do we make it work?
Oh yeah. Kind of like what would Ed Harris play?
I was about to say that it's the sister to what Ed Harris play for Class Action. I like it.
Yeah, we could do that.
All right, moving on to the rest of our categories. First up, the crew of favorite character of the week. Who is our favorite character of this arc? Because we are doing this in the arc. We're not doing every episode. We're just going to do them all in one arc, just like we're going to do the Andor season 2. That is our brilliant way we're going to cut around and trying to do. Because when we try to do 3 episodes once, we try to do like 2 or 3 once, like full way through. The episode was so long, it was not worth your time.
Didn't we do 3 of Bad Batch once?
I think it might have been a Bad Batch thing. So, and that's easier because that's like a 20-minute animated arc, and so that's even easier. But so we'll just do it this way. So we will lax our the compromise we make is we're going to lax our because usually we have like 1 per thing. That's a 1 favorite character week. If you want to bring up somebody else, we are a bit lax about that since it's a 3-episode arc. So I'll let you begin your favorite character of the arc.
There's only 1.
I know there's only 1, and I'll let you go first. Yeah, okay.
A 1,000,000% Nemik. Nemik is
the reason why we're here.
The reason why we are here. Yep, he's the young, bright-eyed revolutionary that you're just like, man, I wish you were right. I wish the world was exactly how you saw it. Like he's just got like these bright eyes that he's like, look, we could do this, like the revolution, like we can. And he's so intelligent, and he's got like such a viewpoint that you're just like, yes, this kid gets it. And then we lose him.
Yeah.
And it's fucking heartbreaking.
It was a nut punch.
Watching it back.
A nut punch and a half. It wasn't a gut punch. It was a nut punch.
It was a nut crunch because you hear the crunch.
No, you're absolutely right. I mentioned this. I thought I wrote this down in my notes. He's one of the most important characters of the entire show, and he's very important to a specific part of the show, which is something that isn't always highlighted well or properly. And I want to also throw out there that one of my other, if I had a secondary character, like Mike, I'll choose a different characters. As Nemik was mine as well. Secondary, and I think one who's underrated quite a bit. And this is a little bit partially retroactively from what we see later on, is Vel. I love Vel as well. And yes, I know we're looking forward. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Andor beyond that, take 2 seconds to go away. It's been out for a while. The fact we learned that Vel is Mon Mothma's cousin later on adds so much depth to this. Like, this isn't just this is a rich person, like a rich, well-to-do type person who comes from like the higher upper echelon, and they're getting down and dirty with the like lower class, like working man class kind of rebellion.
I wonder if her and Andor cross paths in season 2.
I think they're going to. I really do. She's definitely in season 2. I made sure I looked it up. I'm like, she's got to come back, right? Yes, she does. Good. But they both showcase a rebellion of characters that are extremely nervous, extremely like they know they're doing right, but that nervousness is palpable. Like it's part of their character. A lot of times you have these like badass rebellion characters, and who's going to be? They're going to be doing the right. And Cassian's one of those guys. He comes on, he's like, I'm going to shoot the hell out of you. He's in charge. He's in control. You get to get Luke Skywalker, who's adventurous, and these guys, like you can tell how scared they are. Like the point, like they don't know if they're doing the right thing. They still like the whole time, even as they're doing it, they're kind of like you see Vel like questioning herself the entire time. You see, and you see Nemik kind of like questioning himself. I love the part where Nemik, after we discover that Andor is a mercenary, he comes up this whole thing. He's like, I have a new part about Martian using mercenaries as a tool or whatever. The role of mercenaries in rebellion, using the tools we have. It's like you sat up all night and you justified, because you were so upset about this, that Andor didn't believe in the cause, that you justified why him being there was a good thing still. Like I'm going to make it work. I got to make this work somehow in my mind. And it's just a great characterization of Nemik, and it's a phenomenal piece of work. So I agree with that. But Vel is my other one for the same reason. I love the fact that she's just like, she's kind of tough at the beginning. I mean, she gets a little lambasted by Luthen, but she's still pretty tough. But then you see her go through these things where, like, you know that she doesn't know everything. And the fact that she's from the upper class, she doesn't have the same experience that ultimately others have. But I loved her and played really well by the same actress she played the waif in Game of the Thrones. And, really wonderful performance. I like her quite a bit.
So I want to shout out Varada Sefu from who plays Cinta.
Yes.
She is from my hometown.
Oh, okay.
I have seen her around a lot. So seeing her on this show, I was kind of like, that's the woman that goes to my gym. That's the woman I see in the Lebanese restaurant sometimes.
Also, the woman who's going to be on your screens for Doctor Who season 2 as the new companion, by the way.
Is she? There you go. Yeah. Awesome, great for her. But like seeing her in Star Wars, I was kind of, like, I didn't know her name at the time, but she's someone that like I obviously see because my hometown is very small.
Right.
So like seeing her on screen doing Star Wars, I was just like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Someone from my little hometown made it. And that was just cool to see.
Very cool.
I haven't said hello to her like in public. I'm almost kind of too scared to.
You should get out of the show. Come on the show.
I want to get the dude to play
tell her I do a Holy Snokes and we'll do a Holy Snokes and Big Blue Box crossover. So we'll do the crossover. We'll talk about Star Wars and Doctor Who. The other one I want to shout out, I don't think gets nearly enough attention or love, is Major Partagaz, Dedra's boss. I just love how he plays that role. He's not the usual bumbling Imperial kind of guy we're used to. He's not the Tarkin Krennic one we're used to either. He's just a very competent, but also kind of.
Doesn't he also play one of the maesters in Game of Thrones?
I believe he does. Actually, I believe he does. He is. Let me see who did. Let me get that.
It's like later on. He's like the one that like dresses all in black. And it's like always with Cersei.
I don't know if that's the same one. Let's see, Anton Lesser. Let me look that up. Yes, he is Qyburn. That's right. He is Qyburn, and that's right. He is Qyburn. Like, I didn't realize that until you mentioned that, but like, wow, that's a phenomenal double duty there.
Yeah. Good. And you know who else we also get Imperial-wise? We see Wolf Yularen.
Yes, we do. We see Wolf Yularen. That's true. But depending on what I was saying about Major Partagaz, I want to say that you don't get that Imperial who is extremely competent, but not like bloodthirstily trying to like reach the top. He's like comfortable in his role, what he is. Like, he knows where he is. He knows what he's doing. He's not going to allow the sexism of the Empire to make him overlook Dedra's good work. But he's also not going to cut her any slack either.
Like, I love the moment where they have that meeting and he walks out and he just goes, watch your back.
Watch your back. Watch your back. Yep. It's just perfect that way. And he's like, and he knows, and he even has that moment. I don't remember the exact line. It's kind of like, it's unfair, but it's true. You have, it's life. So you have to live with it. So you have to work harder. And I know you can do it. I love that you're doing that. You can get the compliment. He's like, blah, blah, blah. But he also didn't cut him any slack. He's like, the other guy that we did, the other pompous guy who's in charge of the Ferric sector or whatever. He's like, he runs 12 sectors to your 3, and his paperwork is in while yours is not. And it's like, okay, I see what it's. And he also just has a way of delivering line of dialogue. I think
like he juniors her a little bit. It's just like, look, I'm not. This isn't because you're a woman. It's because you kind of suck at your job.
You're sucking at your job in this way. You're good in this other part. I'm going to send you more of this because you're doing really good on this side. But I can't count out to you. He's doing what he's supposed to do. You are not at this point. Fair enough. So it's just he's a very unique character in the Imperial side of things, and I just wanted to definitely give him a proper shout out. I hope we see him in season 2.
It definitely plays into like the Game of Thrones-ness of it, because he's seeing how it's playing out between Dedra and the other guy,
right?
And he's kind of like sitting back and just like putting her in a position, almost putting her in a position to fail, and seeing how she does with it.
Absolutely. I love it. I love the idea of it, and I think it's good for the show. It adds a lot of depth to it, I think. So, all right. You got any other characters you wanted to highlight, or should we move on to?
Not yet. One will come up though.
Okay. I spec Our favorite lines
It's about
of
to come out
dialogue.
right now.
Favorite lines of dialogue. Okay, our favorite lines of dialogue from the episode arc. I will let you go first because you're biting at the tick. Biting at the bit here.
This is a line so good and hit me so hard. It is the title of the Next Mourner song. I have quoted him in my lyrics for the Next Mourner song because it hit me so damn hard that I was like, that is fucking genius. The tree remembers, but the axe forgets. Now it's our time to do the chopping.
I did write that down as well. That was a good one. That is a very, very powerful quote. Very, very powerful quote.
Mourner the Axe Forgets coming out this summer. But yeah. Skeen, the character of Skeen. Also Richie, cousin Richie. Ebon Moss Baccarat.
Yeah, that's right.
Incredible actor.
Incredible. Oh, absolutely. We're going to see him coming up
dude.
As Ben Grimm in the Fantastic Four. Also.
Oh shit, that's right. He's playing Ben Grimm.
Of course, he's in the Bear. Bear Hulk has Jeremy Allen White is coming to Mandalorian and Grogu, so we have two of them in there. Gotta get somebody else from the Bear. Can we get John Bernthal then in Star Wars, maybe?
That would be cool.
That'd be good.
And can we get Matty Matheson in as
it.
well?
What are the two brothers' names? I forget the cousins. The cousins.
I don't know. I can't remember their names, but I know Matty Matheson plays one of them. He's the tattooed guy. He's a real life chef.
Is he really? Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he's a real life chef.
Okay.
I watch his cooking shows on YouTube quite a lot. He's got multiple like Michelin style restaurants around the world.
Really? I did not know that.
That was his whole thing. Like those side tangent on the Bear. When he was offered the role, he said, "I don't want to play a chef. I want to play like a plumber or someone like that." He was like, "I don't want to be a chef. I'm too close to the role," because he's not an actor.
Yeah,
he never has been. He used to be on Vice. He used to do stupid shit on Vice, getting drunk and high and doing stupid things on Vice.
That is funny because there are those two bits are some of my favorite bits of the whole show. Like I couldn't see a whole show of them because it'd be too much. It'd be too much to have them the whole time.
I mean, just go watch his series on Vice, and it's pretty much that.
Fact, that's it. The Fact Brothers. That's what it is.
Fact Brothers, yeah.
God, I did not know that. Awesome. That's awesome. I love them. They're my favorite bits. So okay. Anyway, no, yeah,
but yeah, Ebon Moss Baccarat, incredible actor, and the way he delivers that line as well, it's so like cold and cutting. It really sat with me. I was like, even now to the point where I'm remembering it, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna title my next song "The Axe Forgets." I'm gonna quote him in the chorus of the song, the main part of the song.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. I will throw out the other one that has stuck with me, especially through some times more recently than not, I would say. Nemik, it's easier to hide behind 40 atrocities than a single incident.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, it's so accurate. It's so truthful about fascism. It's what they do. And it's amazing that
fascism happens. Doesn't always wear jackboots.
Yeah. Perfect stuff like that. Love that. Again, that's one of the reasons why Nemik was one of the character of the week. For example, he just delivered that line with such aplomb, such very knowledgeable, just wonderfully done. I do have another line that you're going to hate. You're going to hate this. This is one of my favorite lines, but it is. Why does everything have to be boring and sad?
Oh, that motherfucker.
So definitively, Aaron. But I couldn't help but write it down. Because this defines this character. Why does everything have to be boring and sad?
Perrin would be one of those guys that's like, why does there have to be politics in Star Wars? He would be one of those guys. You'd be like, why do we have to make everything political? why does everything have to be woke? He would 1000% be one of those guys.
You're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong.
That's why I fucking hate him.
but I love him as a character. I hate the character. Like I hate him what he does. I don't like him, but he does a good job.
The performance is fucking incredible because it makes me despise him.
That line delivery was just my favorite of the arc. So, couple and other one I'll throw out. Do you have any other ones you want to play?
No.
Okay. The other one, it's a typical one, but it's more line delivery than the actual lines of dialogue. Good old Luthen. Look at me. I mean, let's be honest. When he knows how to get your attention, he knows how to shut someone up. Like you're talking, stop being a little bitch. You're gonna look at I am in charge. I'm the captain.
I'm the captain now. Yeah.
Although he was always the captain. But that's basically what he does. This is like a preview of what we get to see.
Luthen could probably have like the quote of the week
every week.
The quote of the arc every
Absolutely.
week.
Absolutely.
Especially the next one.
Well, that's the funny point too. You have that one versus Kino in a way. It's like, ooh,
oh, no, I'm not gonna
same episode. Not the same arc.
It is the same episode. Yeah, you're right.
It's amazing. I mean that those two like speeches are on the same episode. Holy shit. We'll get there.
We'll have a scene together.
All right, let's go on to our next topic. Put that in your holocron and snoke it. Explore more lore. This is when we take a look at something that we want to get more out of. We want to know more about their life, their situation, or something like a background of something. We want to get more out of maybe a comic book or a book about it or something to that effect. What do we want to learn more from? I have a bunch of them that I throw out there. So I'll throw out the first one. First one I'm going to get out of the way because I already kind of said it's Vel. I like Vel so much. I kind of want to see how she came to be where she is. What happened with her background? Why she revolutionized? How did she meet like Luthen? Was like Vel just hanging around with Mon Mothma and Luthen was around? And I don't know, it just seems like it's a very fascinating idea. Did Mon pull her in? Mon doesn't seem to be I can't remember because we haven't seen it yet. We'll see next arc. I'll have to revisit next arc. I can't remember, but Mon didn't seem to be too happy that she was involved in things too much. So I don't know.
I think she's like the little sister that's kind of like going off and rebelling, and Mon's like the older sister that's like making a mistake.
Right. Yeah. Okay, go ahead with your first one.
I want to know more about Skeen because he had the story about his brother.
For a second, I thought you said skiing, like we're skiing down.
I mean, maybe he was skiing. Who knows? We don't know.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He had the story about his brother, then his brother had the ship and then he got shot and stuff, and that turned out to be a lie.
Right.
Like, what is his actual... It's kind of like he's this scumbag, but he wouldn't be doing this mission if he didn't have a reason.
Yeah.
Unless he is there just to incite violence and get a paycheck.
Chaos. He's just chaos. I mean, he could be a Hondo-like character without the humor. That could be his thing. He could just be like, whatever works for Skeen works for that's what we're gonna do.
And also Cinta. Like, where the hell did she go?
Is Cinta on the wrong group? She seems like she should be a partisan. Right?
I think
she might be a partisan.
Yeah.
I could see her. I can see it too. I could totally see her like going off the rails and like deciding to join.
Wasn't she the one that killed? I'm pretty sure they killed that officer and his wife and kid.
They didn't kill the wife and kid. They killed the big officer guy, though.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that because she was walking away.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, we don't.
I'm pretty sure she killed the wife and kid.
You know what? I didn't even pick up on that. It's possible. It's definitely possible. They never showed it, but they never showed them alive afterwards either. So that's possible.
Because she's just like, she takes the helmet off and throws it down, and then walks off.
All right. Yeah.
And it's just like she just killed the wife and kid.
Wow. Huh. Didn't even like faze me. I mean, we don't technically know, but I guess it's possible. So, all right, fair enough.
If she pops up with Saw Gerrera in season 2, then that kind of answers the question.
Right, maybe it's possible. Okay, next up. Well, I'll say it, but we don't talk about it. The Gorn. I always want to know more about the Gorn Massacre, so we're going to find out more about the Gorn Massacre. So there you go. But here's what I will like. I want to know more about the Mothma dinner parties with Slymore.
I thought we were going to see it.
So I thought so too. Slymore has always been one of my kind of like favorite glupshadows of like the prequel trilogy. I've loved the idea of who is this person. Like we know who Palpatine is, obviously. We know who the Vizier is. We know who he is. I'm blanking on his name all of a sudden. Why am I blanking on his name? You know, I'm talking the big guy, his right hand man.
Oh yeah, I forget his name too now.
We are bad Star Wars.
We are bad Star Wars fans. I know it starts with an M.
Yeah, I know. I keep saying too, but I keep thinking like Mothma. I know it's not. What's his name?
Grand Vizier.
Yeah, the Grand Vizier.
He's got a name. I know he has a name.
He does. Why is he just called Grand Vizier?
He's just called Vizier.
Masameda. That's
Masameda. Masameda. That was it.
Oh, God,
I was looking on Wikipedia. I'm like, he's just listed as Grand Vizier.
Yeah, I know. That's right.
Wasn't there a thing that Sly Moore was the one that Palpatine got pregnant?
That was I don't think that was ever officially in there like that. I think that might have been one of those kind of vague rumors.
Well, the rumor was that they were fucking.
Right there, that was definitely the rumor. I even wrote fan fiction about that, not specifically the act, but that she was like actually I think I had a fan
like
fiction
a concubine kind of
thing, and that she was force sensitive and yada yada yada.
He was, right?
Yeah, I think she was. That was part of the reason why I kept her around. I believe is what it was. But she's always fascinated me as a character. She has this great look about her, and then like she's in the inner circle, but you don't know anything more about that. The only thing you really know is you see her like in the opera house box. You see, like, so who is she? And they mentioned her like the Von Buff part. Like, I kind of want to know more about this character and this dinners. Let's get more about that. Any more you got for this, or
no? That's it.
Yeah, I have one more thing I want to know is the Skeen has those tattoos, the great head and by the hand. What do those necessarily mean? He's pointing those out. He points out this is that. Like, is he previous rebellious groups, gangs he was in?
I think they're like prison tattoos.
Maybe, yeah, it could be.
Because he's talking to Cassian, he's looking at Cassian's one.
Right.
He's like, where'd you get that?
Right. Yeah. It seems like Cassian knew what he was talking about too. So that was just interesting. So fair. All right. Next up then, seen a lot of action. We're at action bits of the arcs.
It's not a whole lot till the end.
Yeah, it seems like that's what Andor does. It's like kind of like slow burn. We're gonna throw all big action scene at you. And this is the action at the end. And specifically, I'm going to mention dogfight. Dogfight in the eye. Yeah. Phenomenal. Yeah. Phenomenal. Just like, first of all, the eye in general, beautiful. I can see why the group travels thousands of miles, whatever, to see it, or whatever, hundreds of miles to see it, and watching it go ahead. But then having to fly through it and fight through it, and having the TIE fighter, great, tense moment, and they're kicking ass there. And I have to say, partially because of that, one thing that this show has done extremely well, making ties scary again. Making ties.
I was about to say, yeah, that was probably going to be what I had like two moments picked out. That was definitely one of them. Just the moment where they're looking around, they hear the tie, and you hear the noise, and you're like, oh shit! But it's just one tie.
Yeah, one tie. Other shows like Rebels, ties are like dime a dozen. They're like, they're like fodder. We can blow them all up. We steal one all the time. We like regular Star. Like, they're just not as scary. Eventually, it's kind of like Supernatural. If you watch Supernatural, how the first season of Supernatural, the black-eyed demons were like the ultimate. They were so strong, so powerful. And by the time like season 6 or 7 rolls around, Sam and Dean are like offering them like there's tomorrow, like left and right, nothing, no problem. That's what TIE Fighter kind of became. But in this show,
and we'll get to it when we talk about the last arc, but it does the same with stormtroopers because you have the Morlana guards who are essentially bumbling idiots, apart from Moss.
Okay, I'm about to say, let's put some goddamn respect on Moss' name.
He could have been a Death Trooper if he wanted to be. But like they made stormtroopers intimidating again.
Yeah.
And they made a single TIE scary as hell because they're out there in these fields. Barely any weapons.
Out here in the fields. Sorry.
They're essentially like posing as sheep herders.
Yeah. Very powerful stuff. I was very impressed with how they did that. And it's good for the rebellion. It makes the Empire seem more oppressive and more worthy of revolution. Because sometimes Star Wars can get caught up in the bumbling Imperials, the bumbling stormtroopers you can't shoot a thing. Rebels did that a lot. Like Rebels, you didn't worry about the Rebels until except for like outside the Grand Inquisitor, or like when Vader showed up, or like Maul was there, or whatever. You worried about them, but when the stormtroopers are there, Callus you worried about a little bit, but like Callus's troops, they're almost like Keystone Cops kind of in a way sometimes. This does a good job of that, I think. Okay.
My other one would be the actual fight on the ship as they're leaving. There was a moment when they were grappling with one of the guards, and the guard kind of falls, and I was like, something in me the first time I watched it was like, keep an eye on that, like remember that, because it's the guard that comes up as they're trying to escape,
right?
And they're grappling with him, and then you hear the crunch,
right.
And I'm like, where the fuck is Nemik?
Crunched. Yeah. The whole fight sequence was phenomenal. There's a lot. The gunfight was great. The tension there when I forget the character's name. The character who comes in early and Goran's like, "I'm giving you a direct order. You're not supposed to be here," kind of thing. That whole tension there.
Goran's a great character too. We didn't talk about him.
I talked about Goran or Trayman for that matter. They're both great characters. They both have some great, like Trayman being the ex-Imperial, kind of what they wanted Finn to be, like everyone's a Jedi.
Dude, he's so good
at that. But Goran has some amazing deliveries too, and he has that great delivery. You're gonna hang for this. 7 years serving under you, I deserve worse.
Yeah, that was an awesome line.
And what a smart.
I'm pretty sure like most of these actors are like former British stage actors.
Feels that way. It totally feels that way. I love another one I love from Goran is that how intelligent is the character, where he he wants to clear out the vault as much as possible that night for the heist.
Yeah.
But he has that moment where he basically says everybody's going to stay in and miss the eye because you didn't do this. Like it's the opposite of what he wants. But he gets them to go, "Oh, sir, everybody wants to see the eye. Can we?" And he goes, "Fine, I want that spit shine done by tomorrow morning, but now everybody can get out." So he gets exactly what he wants, even though he looks like he wanted to. Like totally makes him look blameless. It's a great way to have that character like feel like he was blameless. You know what I mean? It's so well done. It's such a smart, interesting way to do it. So loved him a lot. Goran, R.I.P. Goran. Kind of wish he had made it through. I kind of wish he had made it through, but I guess it made more sense that some of them were going to die. But it is what it is. All right. How about laugh it up? The Fuzzball, our famous funny moments, our comic moments. Ooh, not a lot of comic moments in this show, be honest with you, but they do have moments.
There was one that got a real good giggle out of me.
Okay.
Was when Skeen was kind of introducing Cassian to the crew, and he points out Cinta, and Cassian looks at her, kind of like, and then Skeen's just like, "Hey man, you're not her type. Trust me. She's
bed is taken or something like that.
Her bed is taken, and then you see her walking into the hut together, and you're like, oh.
Good for you guys. Good for you guys.
All
right, I did have one, and then it comes back to my boy, Mr. Musk. He's being talked down to by the. This is awful. This is awful. He just goes, seriously. He just goes, puts his head down. It's like
he is the comic relief of this show.
Oh, the show is so much better when he is in it. I can't lie. He's so much better when he's in it. So fun. So
when Hondo Watch does end, we will give a breathing period to Hondo Watch, and we will have Mosk
Watch, which is never, unfortunately, probably going to happen again. Unfortunately, there's no chance of that, I don't think. But he's not even in season 2. Well, maybe he is. He said he isn't in season 2, but maybe he's trying to hide it. Maybe he's lying, but I don't think he's going to be.
He has to be. The people demand it.
I would definitely demand it.
We are the people.
We are the people. We're going to be the only 2, but we are the people. Tony!
I don't know.
Tony, find me some Mosk.
That would have been the question that we'd have asked if we were on this fucking panel.
What does it take? What do I have to give you to bring Mosk back?
Yeah, that would be the only question. People would be expecting us to ask about Hondo.
Right.
We'd be like, no, where's Mosk?
Where's Mosk? Mosk Watch. Maybe for Andor season 2, we should do Mosk Watch. We'll postpone Hondo Watch because
I think that would be a good. We're making an executive decision that it's going to be Mosk Watch.
Now, how funny would it be, of course, though, if Hondo does appear? Like when we don't have Hondo Watch on, it's like watching the toaster or watching the pot boil.
You know what the phrase is? when you're trying to find true love, stop looking, start seeing.
I love it. Mosquatch is a thing for Andor season 2. I love it. At least there are 4 episodes of Holy Snokes. Okay. I don't know if this is really a comic laugh it up moment, but I did get kind of a chuckle when you see Luthen change into Antiquities Luthen.
Oh yeah.
And he goes for he puts his wig on and you see
he's like,
and just a smile goes on. I was like, damn, that's awesome. But it did make me giggle a little bit too. That's kind of fun. That's kind of fun. So all right. I guess we should rate these bad boys on a scale of 1 to 11, because we always rank things. We always turn things up to 11 here on PLD Projects. By the way, Spinal Tap 2 has a teaser out now. If you had missed it,
really? No, I haven't seen that yet.
Small teaser, and they do turn things up to 11. Can't wait for that.
They don't turn it up to 12.
No, not the teaser. Maybe they're saving that for the movie itself. I don't know.
Okay.
Parsecs out of 11. What do you give the first episode?
11.
Yeah, the first episode 11. Okay.
Oh, I thought we were doing the whole arc.
Oh no, we did this last time. I did the episodes. We'll do like as far as ranking goes.
Okay, so first episode 9.5.
Okay, I gave it a 9. Second, I gave it 8.
Second, I would give 10.
Okay, and the third, I gave it 11.
Third, I would give it 11.
So, yeah, not bad, not too bad at all. Anything else we haven't talked about this week though? We didn't really talk much about the Imperial side of things. We mentioned a little bit about the Imperials, like with Partagaz and things like that. But this is our introduction to Dedra Meero as a character.
They come into play a lot more.
Yeah, I agree.
The coming arcs.
I do love Dedra's character. I think she is like because of the outlandish sexism in the Empire, how she tries so hard, but she have her faults of her own. I love her as a character. I think she's got a lot.
Have you ever watched her interviews, Denise?
Yes, Denise Go.
I think
Gough. I don't know how to pronounce it. It would be Guff as far as
it'd be like Van Gogh, right?
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, she's like has zero clue about Star Wars.
Oh, is it true?
Yeah, no, like you ask her, she doesn't. I'm pretty sure there's an interview from season 1 where she's like, I don't even know what Ewoks are, and I was just like, bless you.
Hey, that's all good. That's all good. But yeah, the Imperials it's a fun time. Get to see our introduction to Lonnie, who actually absolutely comes to play. So.
Yeah. I forgot Lonnie shows up in this arc. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we didn't talk much about Edie. We mentioned her a few times, like before, about her coming back. But Edie is a great, fun character. Another one with I don't want to punch an old woman in the face, but she's got a very punchable attitude.
Do you know there is actually another Star Wars connection between Denise Go and another actor in Star Wars?
Go ahead.
She is in the Robin Hood movie with Oscar Isaac.
Oh.
The one that Russell Crowe plays Robin Hood.
Gotcha. Right.
She's in that.
Oh, that's fair. Okay. Interesting connection there.
Don't watch the movie though; it's terrible.
No, it is. It's very terrible. Edie and Cyril are fun together. Edie and Cyril are very fun together. Cyril being like, I actually liked Cyril a little bit more this time through because he's just kind of like getting his ass handed to him.
I understood him a bit.
Yeah, he gets to understand him a bit. He's definitely an incel. I don't like having it, and he makes the wrong decision most of the time. But I do have a little bit of understanding and sympathy for what goes on there.
I do love the one shot where like he accepts the job
and
he's in the cubicle, and it's very much like a shot from Severance,
right?
Where he's just sitting in the cubicle and it just like pans out, and then you just like see all these like cubicles and this like the Imperial work machine,
right?
And it's just like, you poor son of a bitch.
Poor son of a bitch. Let's see. We didn't really mention the Imperial and his family. I had a funny line there about the suit's been compressed. Perhaps you've been expanding.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that should have been a comedy moment.
That was a good.
They for sure died.
Yeah, I'm willing to go there. Like you have a lot of theories, and I'm kind of like you're nuts. You're nuts, Patty. But there are times I'm like,
I mean, at least my theories don't go overboard like some people who call themselves theories.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, no. Your theories are fun.
Yeah, my theories are like
stupid
fun.
I have completely outlandish ones too. You're just you just have the stupid, fun, silly ones, which are good. But this is actually not
this one. I was like,
actually legitimate. Like, okay,
It's just the way she threw everything down that she was just like, yeah. Fuck you.
I was just so caught up with like them getting out and Nemik being hurt and the dog fight and everything else. I just saw her. I'm like, oh, they're just showing her leaving. Oh, she must be going with she must have a backup plan to get out somehow or get off the planet somehow. Didn't even think about her leaving them behind. But yeah, it makes a lot of
Let's
sense.
talk about one thing we didn't mention about the episode: the visuals of the Eye of Aldani.
Yes, I mean, I brought up a little bit during the during the dogfight, but yeah, that is a beautiful piece of work. Beautiful piece of work. Love it so much. So, all right. Anything else? Is that it? Are we good to go?
That's it. I think we're good to go.
We did it. I can go back and watch next week's news topic. Partially, probably. Yeah, I got other work to do too. Where can the folks find you, Matty?
You can find me on all social media at Matty Mourner. You can find my band Mourner, Mourner, on all streaming platforms. As I mentioned, we got a new song coming out in the summer.
What's it called?
The Axe Forgets, and it's inspired by Andor. The whole EP is inspired by Andor. Like,
there you go.
There's another song in there called Burn the Sunrise, which you can tell where I got that title from.
I think we can tell very well where that comes from as well. So sure thing, sure enough.
And we are, if you come to watch us this summer, we will be walking on stage to a reprised version of Luthen's monologue.
Nice. I thought you were going to say you're walking on sunshine.
No, but that is on the playlist of songs that we'll be playing before that song comes on.
Nice.
I think it's after Spandau. It's between Spandau Ballet's Gold and Billy Ocean's Caribbean Queen.
Nice. Both good choices. Both solid choices for sure. All right, you can find me at Paul_Denuzio on the old Blue Sky. It's where I hang out on social media these days. I dip everywhere else. Blue Sky is my home, as it were. Find me all over this channel. Obviously, my name is on the tin, as Matty likes to say. Great shows there we got going on. We got the two middle-aged geeks on film. PJ and I we're about to enter our Superman phase, and we got lead up to the James Gunn Superman on Patreon. Patreon.com/PLD Projects. We have started our MCU rewatch. We have Iron Man out on Patreon exclusive and YouTube member exclusive, by the way, if you want to do that as well. Incredible Hulk coming out next week. We're going to go on every other week because our show is generally every other week. So the opposite week will be our Patreon exclusive. They will come out to the main channel eventually. But the way I was doing scheduling, oh man, I don't think you're going to see them on the main channel until like December probably. But that is what it is. You can find me all over. I got Lego and me do review our V show every other week as well. I do my Crown Jewels Queen show every week as well. And the sister YouTube channel also got its own audio feed. And finally, of course, Class Action Live. It returns in March. We have an actual announcement. I don't think I said this anywhere else. I think we don't. I think
you put it on the schedule graphic.
I might have put on schedule. You're right. I think I did. You're absolutely right. I did. So schedule graphic it is. If you haven't seen that schedule graphic, we are here with Gene Hackman tribute. We're going to be doing the great Class Action favorite. We've actually done this film before, Crimson Tide, but it's been a long time, so I don't remember what I said about it. So Crimson Tide.
I thought you'd done this whole matchup before. I was like ready to go into this as a rematch.
No, we did Crimson Tide versus Hunt for Red October last time. Two submarine movies, which was a good fun time for sure. This is the Hackman of it all and Tony Scott of it all. So it's Crimson Tide versus Enemy of the State, which should be a lot of fun. That's going to be Monday the 24th, I want to say it is.
21st, isn't it?
I don't know if I know real quick. Right, we have such great content. We are just going to continuously do this. It is Monday the 24th.
24th. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I better get that right.
All right. And that'll do it for us. We will see you back here next week where we cover Andor seasons 1, episode 7, 8, and 9. See, I did that purposely. 7, 8, and 9. I didn't just do the 7 through 10. 7, 8, and 9. And whatever news drops, including
why is 6 afraid of 7?
7, 8, 9.
Because 7, 8, 9. And on that note.
We'll see you next week.
May the Force be with you always.